Reasonable doubt. I really hope the jury for the Jonathan Majors trial is watching this video and breaking every rule. You're supposed to believe that Jonathan is using reckless criminal intent when the driver who was there, the only other witness there, has, quote, said he was saying, "Leave me alone. I have to go." He was not doing anything. She was doing it. If we share screen, if you can see the clip of him, of Jonathan Majors lifting her up, which there are so many more things that happened to him just a few moments ago before this, which caused his scratch on his face, which he took at 2 o'clock. And they tried really, really hard to say, no, the geolocation, this, they're using LA time. So we don't know what time he took. They really tried to not have this admissed into evidence. But when he just succumbed to all of this outside, as he's trying to separate himself from her, you see him lifting her up. And this is not a criminal act. He pricks her up all the way up. He's on his tippy toes. They're gonna make it seem like he's on his tippy toes because he was really getting in there. But no, all he was doing was getting to this high platform, which is an escalade. What? Let me play some more. She is popping right back up after he puts her in there. Where is she? You don't see her head. Her hair is blonde. You would not see it. How do you push someone unless they're in your face? So here she is again, popping back up. There she is. Jonathan doesn't get away from me. He was just attacked. This is reasonable force. You are allowed, if first of all, if someone steals your phone or takes any item from you, you're using non-deadly force to retrieve your item, and you're covered by the law. That's just how it works. Every single time she pops back up, he is distancing himself from her. These are not criminal acts. This is protecting himself. What does he do when he gets out? She gets on him. So we can look at before, we can look at after, we can listen to the driver to know what happened before, and then we can see their actions that happened directly after, that she is pursuing him and attacking. She is the aggressor. He is running away. Distance is called away. This distance is called to the left. That would be if he was going to her. He's escaping an attack. Here she is again. She tries to get away from me. If you think him pushing her is like some act of violence, there's no medicine that I can give you. Then she goes to the club all night long. He's clearly innocent if you ask me, from my eye test and everything. This guy is perfectly fine, but at least you can admit to yourself that there is reasonable doubt that this man who acts this way, as a little bit later in the video, where he just wants nothing to do with her. He wants, look at that arm that he raised to get away from her. I want you to actually watch Chloe, which was the other girl in the video, as she pulls away at her. She's pulling her away, and don't worry, I got this. I'm not in any threat. Goes to the club. That's not what people who like, that's reasonable doubt. At the very least, I'm asking, it's reasonable doubt. If you want to punish Jonathan a little bit and say, we're not going to give him that intent, that reckless assault, or the aggravated harassment, but we'll just give him the harassment, as if, like, a little bit of punishment here and there, you're forgetting what this man's career has been over the last 8 months. Since the news broke, when the cops falsely arrested him, all he had for that week was this headline here: Jonathan Majors arrested on charges of strangulation. Now, you all know, and we all know, that those charges are not what he's up for now, but that didn't stop the headlines flowing. Variety had something. They said that the issues are worsening. More alleged abuse victims cooperate with the DA's office, when they had their exclusive, which of course is the DA themselves. Let's actually read this article. As Jonathan prepares for his May 8 court appearance, sources familiar with the matter tell Variety that multiple alleged abuse victims of Majors have come forward following his March arrest and are cooperating with the Manhattan DA. Well, both have rested prosecution, defense. Where are these witnesses? It didn't matter, though, because way back a few months ago, that was the talk of the town about all of these victims of Jonathan Majors, allegedly victims, who were anonymous in all of these articles. Don't punish this man. The last few days of his life have been punishment. You want to hear what it's like? Because you're not supposed to search a jury. You're not supposed to search the stuff. But you want to know what it's like every time he pulls up to the scene? Listen to him. Listen to him being mocked by the reporters, mocking his religion even.
How's your poetry going? You an Old Testament or New Testament kind of guy?
If we go to the article written by that person just a couple days ago from Victoria Becampus, go to Vulture. Her headline is Jonathan Majors' closing arguments blames his accuser for revenge partying. I'm sorry, did she not run up his credit card? Even though she was independent, she wanted nothing to do with him. Isn't that what happened? The evidence is plain as day. We can see Jonathan wanting nothing to do with her. We can hear the driver say that. Throughout the night, he spends it at a hotel. She spends it partying. She runs up his credit card. He breaks up with her. She sends texts. When he finds her at his home, a few moments later, let's get back to that clip. Actually, it's really important that I show you this part to show you the character of the man who was Jonathan. Here he is at his home. Cops show up. Watch him reach over on the left for a cloth that he's going to use a few minutes later as he races ahead of the cop, gets ahead of the cop, just so that he can be the one to cover her bottom, as he says in the 911 call, her bottom. And that same cloth now was covering her because he had the decency to do that. They, the police officers, they made him out to be some sort of aggressor. And it's that's been carried forward by media, that has been carried forward by the district attorney as well, and does not need to be carried over by the jury. It's reasonable doubt. He didn't call 911 on himself.